Hey family, what's going on? Klaus here, and welcome back to sneak peek number 5, I do believe. And this one, we are going to be discussing, you can see it guys, it's on the screen, the new troops. These are actually Halloween troops. They are temporary troops. And they are nice and red and gray. They both kind of follow the same color scheme, which is nice, but you guys don't care about the color scheme. You guys care about the troops. So let's check out first the ground troop. Again, the Halloween special troop. It is the giant skeleton. You guys have seen this guy before. His favorite target is defenses, so he's going to work a lot like a golem or a lot like a giant, whereas once it's placed, it's going to try to go toward the closest defense or start breaking through walls to get to the closest defense. It also has the giant bomb that it's holding on to, and whenever it dies, it drops that bomb, and that bomb does a ton of damage. So it kind of works like a golem. You know, whenever a golem dies, it pops and does a lot of damage, but the giant skeleton doesn't have skeletonites that come out and attack. It's just this guy. He's a pretty big beast. He's fun to watch while he attacks, and don't worry, we will check out a replay here in just a moment. But the air special troop that we have is the skeleton barrel. And it's kind of similar to a minion, if you will, but it drops skeletons. So it's like the drop ship in Builder Base or like the balloon, except its favorite target is any troop. So it will, just like the minion or like the dragon, target any building that's dropped onto, not like a balloon where it goes toward defenses. And the skeleton barrel is 5 housing space, so similar to a balloon, like I said. And it just drops a whole bunch of skeletons. It's kind of cool to watch, guys. I'll show you guys some replays and we'll do some attacks and stuff. It's gonna be fun. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but the giant skeleton's housing space is 20, similar to that of a dragon. So something to consider, guys, if you're gonna be trying out these attacks or trying out these new troops in your attacks. So I've got some replays to show you guys, and the best thing, we're gonna start with the ground, by the way. We're gonna start with the giant skeleton. The best way to kind of test the strength of something is to try it on try mass deployment. Just a bunch of giant skeletons. So here they go. And this was before I did any reading. I didn't do any reading on this, so I didn't realize that they would go for the skeleton or for the defenses. Do your homework before you try something out, guys. So yeah, I mean, they're not doing anything to anything else. I'm not gonna get any loot besides maybe like death damage or whatever. I was late on that jump, so these giant skeletons weren't even going into the core. So this was a disaster. Don't try mass giant skeleton. Learn from my mistakes. Use them in conjunction with something else. Use it with maybe a ground kill squad, or maybe tank for some bow witch, or something like that. Don't just do mass giant skeleton. You're going to be disappointed. But notice that the death damage. Just watch the death damage of these guys for a second. Watch this. Boom. It explodes. Oh, it didn't take out a building. Oh, it took out that wall. Those walls they have a lot of hit points. That's very impressive for sure. So yeah, don't do 14 giant skeletons. It's not good. So let's go. We're gonna go from the bottom to the top, by the way. So this attack against Justine, I went ahead and tried something like this. I've got a wall wrecker with my heroes, and I'm using giant skeleton with some wizards to start the funnel. So basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to just get the giant skeletons in and funnel in the heroes and things. Of course, this is a max town of 12. I don't think it has the 3rd Inferno Tower or anything like that. But let's just see. Yeah, there we go. So Wall Wrecker, King, Queen, Giant Skeleton. Basically what I'm hoping for is that all the Giant Skeletons come in towards the middle once the Wall Wrecker breaks through, which they do, which is really, really nice. So the spells here are useful. I'm going to go ahead and freeze over the Queen. I meant to get the Eagle Artillery, but I missed it. Get a Rage on them. By the way, they do more damage. The Giant Skeletons are improved under a rage spell, which is nice. I went ahead and jump spell these guys into the core because my wall wrecker didn't make it there. Rage spell, did I bring a heal? I don't remember, but there was a Grand Warden's ability to save them from the Giga Tesla. And this whole test, by the way, guys, I was just testing crazy army compositions just to see, is it OP? Am I going to be able to spam a whole bunch of these guys and 3-star bases in war while this troop is a thing? And I came to realize, and you'll see in this video, that there really isn't. It's not OP. It's really strong, mind you. I did just gut a Max Town Hall 12. I did just get a 2-star on it, which is, bare minimum for doing well in war and stuff. But it's not OP to where you can just kind of spam it in 3-star. So that's pretty good. But you know, I wanted to get that 3-star. I kept trying for that 3-star. So above Justine, we're gonna attack Grax. All right, Grax. And by the way, these all have the same base design. This is kind of like the default base design here on the development build, the Supercell development build for doing beta testing and stuff for the game, for the new updates that are coming out. So this time I tried something a little bit different. I decided a different deployment side. I wanted to go in through the top and take out the Eagle Artillery with the Wall Wrecker. I also used some baby dragons to get the pretty much create the funnel. Everything went into the core very, very nicely, which is very nice. Good freeze on the Giga Tesla and on the X-Bows and stuff like that. Also good Grand Warden ability, because they will hopefully take out the Town Hall in time. That was actually a level 1 Giga Tesla, so it didn't have the death damage at the end anyway. And even though this base wasn't fully maxed out, like I said, lots of lots of non-maxed things. The Giga Tesla, it only had 2 Inferno Towers. Now the maxed out 12s have 3. Even though it wasn't maxed out, and I believe the funneling was perfect, I wasn't able to pull off the 3-star again. So I was starting to think, well, because this base design is not very good. So I'm thinking, well, yeah, it's not OP. All right, I'm starting to figure it out. But something happened, and I think I've tried a few more times. Yeah, you can tell I'm not going to 3-star. This is only like 2 of them left, and then there's like a bowler and 1 Grand Warden. The Queen's dead over there. Yeah, so it's not going to be the 3-star, guys. So let's bounce out, and let me show you the lucky 3-star. All right, we'll go ahead and skip Lamo 2. I got a 91, then I got an 85. Okay. I'll show you my first attempt with Jai Witch. All right, Jai Witch being giants, boulders, and witches, but instead of giants, I brought the giant skeleton, which is still Jai Witch. It's kind of cool. So I think it was like 6 giant skeletons out, witches and bowlers in front, kind of creating the funnel, getting the Wall Wrecker in. Once the Wall Wrecker breaks through the wall, King, Queen, Warden, and a few of the giant skeletons go in, but not all of them. That was the mistake. The Wall Wrecker is going to break through. I go ahead and get a nice freeze on the enemy Queen and the Eagle Artillery. This one also has a level 1 Giga Tesla. It has a CC Electro Dragon, though, which is kind of a problem. I do get a freeze down on the X-Bow, so I was aiming for the Infernos, but we don't really need the Warden's ability on that Giga Tesla because it doesn't have the actual death damage Giga Tesla. But even though, and yes, I brought Valkyries in the CC this time instead of, I believe I was bringing boulders previously, even though I think that Bow Witch is a bit stronger than just giant skeleton wizard, we still were not able to pull off the 3-star. And I was starting to wonder, it's like maybe this troop is not that great. Of course, I'm not saying that I'm a great attacker. All right, I'm a good attacker. I'm better than average, but I'm not like CWL computer brained super beast like some CWL war players. So in the hands of some of you guys that are watching the video and some of those guys in CWL and stuff, obviously they will be able to figure out a better way to use them. But for me, in my limited capacity, I had a hard time making the giant skeleton OP, which is what I was testing for. So 91%, everything kind of dies out at that point. So I closed out of there, and then it dawned on me. I need to get, let me see, there it is. I need to get all of my giant skeletons in at the same point. All right, so we got 3 witches on the same side, 3 bowlers on each side. I went ahead and put down my Wall Wrecker, all of my giant skeletons on the same spot. Now they're all inside the base. King, Queen, and a bunch of bowlers. All right, so they're all in. Good early raid spell. Good, I went ahead and put a poison spell in there, not the freeze, just to poison the Queen. And the Wall Wrecker should get us all the way into the core. Now this base, again, only had the level 1 Giga Tesla. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But it's still a 3-star. I'm happy with it, but I think that this way was the better way. That was good Grand Warden ability, by the way. It covered kind of like everything. But at this point, guys, like everything kind of died out on the top, but there's a lot still alive at the bottom inside that ring on the outside. So, and the Valkyries in the core did a lot of tanking. They were able to gut the core very nicely. It's kind of like a ring base, this base. So it all came down, and I've got one more rage. I went ahead and put that down over here. It all came down to having the giant skeletons. I'm only bringing like 6 or 7 or however many. So it's all about keeping them together because they do a lot of damage. whenever they're all put together, similar to a bunch of giants. It really makes sense. Like whenever you put down your giants for like a bow witch, or if you put giants in your wall wrecker, they do a ton of damage. So I'm really excited about the giant skeleton, guys. I'm excited to see how you guys end up using them. But I was able to finally pull off the triple against this, not max, but really, really close to a max Town Hall 12. And I believe even if it was a max Giga Tesla, I would have gotten it, because I did get that Grand Warden's ability off in time. So it did, but it was close. It wasn't like this was an overwhelming 3-star. Like, the giant skeletons are not broken, as is usual for Supercell seasonal troops. These are not broken. It did come down to pretty close, but again, I'm not the best attacker, so I'm not the best gauge for how well a troop is. And it looks like it comes down to 2 defenses that Grand Warden decided to go for the cannon, even though that Tesla's in its face shooting it. But there you go. There's that 3-star. So that was what I was aiming for, guys. It took me like 6 or 7 tries on pretty much the same exact base design, but we eventually got it. So now let's move over to the air troop. Again, the air, so what's it called? I don't even remember now. It's the skeleton barrel. You have the giant skeleton and the skeleton barrel, a skeleton theme for the Halloween update. And so again, it's similar to a mini Newer Dragon, where it'll target any troop, any building, but it does not, it's 5 troop spaces. So let's just see what an attack of mass skeleton barrel did. All right, same base design. Again, level 1 Giga Tesla. These are all different bases. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but there you go. Mass skeleton barrel. And check this out. Rages on the corners. I went ahead and freezed over the Eagle Artillery, the Queen, and the air defense. That was a fantastic freeze. Free spell over the other air defense as well. Another freeze over the Eagle, so not letting the Eagle get in there. Good Grand Warden ability covering a lot of air targeting defenses. There's some CC balloons coming out of the wall wrecker, and look at these guys. There's a million skeletons as these skeleton barrels go around dropping troops. The longer they survive, the more skeletons they release, and it's ridiculous how many skeletons survived in this attack. I mean, like, look over here. Look how many skeletons there are just melting through the wall. You can't really tell, but once they get through, you're going to be able to tell. Also, I think there's a lot of them over here too. Nope. Okay, so the right side. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Look at how fast. Look how many skeletons there are. This is ridiculous. Look how fast they melt through the storages. Oh, man. Yeah. So, first try. Mass skeleton barrel. 3-star. On a Town Hall 12. And I mean, I popped the Warden's ability at the right time, so I think if it was a max Town Hall 12, it would have worked out anyway. I would have 3-starred anyway. But I was like, uh-oh. Skeleton barrel OP. Everyone's going to be using skeleton barrel, mass, and 3-starring everything, right? So I decided to try it again. Just the exact same thing a second time. And it didn't work. I was surprised. This one's got a max Giga Tesla. So the same thing. Wall Wrecker, King, Queen down, a whole bunch of skeleton barrels, and rage spells on the corners. Now, unfortunately, the King wandered around the outside. I got a good freeze, but I didn't freeze the Queen that time. I think that was a major difference. Also, I saved the Warden's ability. The Warden followed the King, so he didn't get the inside troops very well. And I've already used all of my spells, but look at all these skeletons. Like, even though this was a fail, it really shows that mass skeleton barrel can be overwhelming. Ooh, Giga Tesla killed all my balloons. That was not good. So this attack clearly didn't go according to plan. But I can see this skeleton barrel, if used correctly, similar to like a Laloon or a Loonian, where you just like spam those babies and spell them through in 3-star. You know, I can see that being a thing. But you better be pretty darn good with your spells. You better be on point on everything. Like, I got lucky. That's what I'm assuming, is that I got lucky in my first raid. So let's try one more. I wasn't able to get it again with just mass skeleton barrel, so I decided to add in a Laloon, like a Lava Hound, 4 Lava Hounds actually. It's like quad Laloon. Except for I just had the Hounds and the skeleton barrels, and I did even worse in this attack, guys. I don't know. Maybe I was late with my freeze, or it was a bad freeze. I didn't freeze my Queen, the enemy Queen. I don't know what went. The weird thing is, I don't know what went right in my first attempt, because I was never able to recreate that. But I still think that the skeleton barrel and the giant skeleton are going to be super fun to use and worth using whenever we go to you know, real war in the real game and stuff. It's going to be neat to see again how all of these really good war players choose to use these troops. All it is knowing how they behave. And again, guys, the giant skeleton likes defenses, so it'll work just like a golem or just like a set of giants. And the skeleton barrel works just like the minions or just like the dragons, where they go for any troop or any building that's on the base. So, guys, that is going to be it for us today in this sneak peek of the new Halloween troops and a little bit of insight on the strategy of how to use them. I think they're available for every town hall level, so it's going to be neat to see how you guys use them. And yeah, again, that's going to be it for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like this video if you like seeing these attacks using the new troops. Hit that subscribe button also if you have not done so already to join the Klaus family for daily Clash of Clans videos, and share this video with your friends, your clanmates, your family, whoever plays the game that would be interested. I'm sure they would love to see the new troops in action as early as humanly possible. Be sure again to subscribe, because you're going to be seeing more update information on this channel. I'm going to be working through the goblin maps on my main account in the game and just exploring this new update. There's a lot to it. We've gone through it in previous sneak peek videos, but just stay tuned, because there's always more content coming your way. Again, guys, that's all for me. I love each and every one of you, and I will see you all again next time.